All right, let's get right into it. For what feels like forever, blockchain has been this word just swimming in hype and a ton of speculation. But you know what? We're finally moving past that early, noisy phase. Today, we're going to look at the real-world stuff that's actually taking shape and see how this technology is becoming a fundamental part of our world for 2025, and really way beyond. But to really wrap your head around what's happening, let's start with a pretty simple question. What if money, contracts, all your most important documents, what if they could zip around the globe just as fast and easy as an email? That one idea, that simple concept, is really the engine behind everything we're about to explore. It's all about upgrading the systems we depend on every single day. So, it probably won't surprise you that the first place this whole revolution is taking hold is in global finance. And we're not just talking about new crypto coins here. No, this is about a fundamental upgrade to the very financial plumbing that makes our economies tick, making everything faster, cheaper, and frankly, more accessible to everyone. Now, to understand how this is happening, we've got to get one core concept down: tokenization. Just think of it like this. You're creating a super secure digital certificate of ownership for an asset. It could be a share of a company, the deed to a building, even a piece of fine art. That digital certificate, that token, can then be bought and sold instantly on a global network. So what kind of stuff are we talking about tokenizing? Well, we're talking about bringing real-world assets, you'll hear them called RWAs, onto the blockchain. I mean, historically, things like real estate or fine art have been incredibly slow and difficult to trade. Tokenization completely changes the game. It allows for what's called fractional ownership, so you could buy, say, a tiny slice of a skyscraper downtown, and it makes these really valuable assets as easy to trade as a stock. And look, this isn't some sci-fi what-if scenario. It's happening right now. Heavy hitters like NASDAQ are actively gearing up to trade tokenized securities. Just imagine that for a second. Stock markets that just never close, where trades settle in seconds, not days. Galaxy Digital's already done this with its own stock to prove it can work. And it's so important to see who's behind this shift. Is it a bunch of startups in a garage? Nope. It's the giants of traditional finance. Banks like HSBC and Bank of America, along with massive financial players like Euroclear, are already plugging blockchain into their systems to speed up settlements and make cross-border payments way more efficient. This is Wall Street itself adopting the tech to upgrade its own house. And you know what happens when Wall Street gets involved, right? The big money starts to flow. Just look at this number, $500 million. That's the size of just one new digital asset fund from a company called HashKey. To put that in perspective, think of it like a new pension fund for the digital age, making serious long-term bets. This isn't just speculative cash. It's a huge signal of institutional confidence in where this is all going. So we've talked finance, but honestly, that's just the beginning. Let's switch gears, because blockchain's impact goes way beyond money. It's changing the very fabric of how businesses operate and work together, building entirely new systems from the ground up on transparency and verifiable trust. And this example just perfectly illustrates the difference. Think about global shipping. The old way? Stacks and stacks of paper that can literally take weeks to process while cargo just sits there. The new way? A blockchain-based electronic bill of lading that lets cargo get verified and cleared in a matter of hours. It's also being used to crush counterfeiting. Companies like VeChain are using it to let you trace a product's entire journey, from the factory floor right to the shelf. Now, this next idea is pretty wild. The technology isn't just changing how companies work, it's reinventing what a company even is. On the left, you've got your traditional company with a CEO calling the shots. On the right, you have a DAO, a Decentralized Autonomous Organization. It's basically a company run by its community, where every big decision is made through voting on a public blockchain. It's a radical experiment in democratic, totally transparent business. Okay, we've covered the big picture, finance, business, but what does any of this actually mean for you, for your life? This final part is all about security, and more importantly, about giving you back true ownership over your own digital identity and your data. This is where it gets really personal. Let's start with a problem that I think we can all relate to. You work hard for years, you finally get that degree, but that piece of paper, it's surprisingly fragile. It can get lost, damaged, or even faked. And have you ever tried to get it verified for a new job? It can be a slow, bureaucratic nightmare. Now, check out the solution. In India, a university is issuing tens of thousands of degrees directly onto a blockchain. This makes them completely tamper-proof. It allows any employer anywhere in the world to verify them instantly with a click. No more waiting for transcripts, no more calling registrar offices, no fraud. Just click and it's verified. And if you can do that for a diploma, just imagine what else you can secure. The possibilities here are huge. We're talking about tamper-proof health records that you, and only you, control access to. A digital identity that proves who you are without you having to give away all your personal details. It's all about putting you back in the driver's seat when it comes to your most sensitive information. So when you pull it all together, what's the big takeaway here? It's this. Blockchain is graduating. It's moving on from being a niche tool for finance geeks and is becoming a fundamental utility, kind of like the internet itself, that provides this invisible layer of trust and ownership for our digital lives. It's an evolution from Wall Street all the way to your wallet. Which leaves us with one last kind of mind-bending thought to chew on. As more and more of our world, our assets, our credentials, our very identities are represented by these digital tokens on a blockchain, what will it actually mean to own something in the future? It's a profound question, and it's one that this technology is forcing all of us to answer.